What we set out to do at the African Beach Soccer Union when it was formed, uh, we noticed in Africa there were only few leagues, national leagues taking place. At the end of that tournament, I think they only came second on away goal rules, but they really did well. And after that, we now said, look, we need to come together because for a very long time, even the NFF were trying to find ways, to start the beach soccer league because the Nigerian national team has been participating in
beach soccer
competitions since way back in 2005.
Yes.
Tournament called the Copa Lagos, which is an international tournament.
Yes.
And the guy organizing that tournament happened to have roots with Kebbi. And we got in touch through a friend and we're discussing. He was like, beach soccer in Kebbi, how come? We all came together, everyone was saying, in terms of leadership, we need to give it to Nigeria and also to Mahmoud because we've seen what you've done.
Sir, you are welcome to this our podcast.
Oh, thank you very much.
A Sport Kick podcast. It has been a long awaiting one, and thank God you are here.
Alhamdulillah.
It's our pleasure to have you. Sir, let me start by maybe from the early days, maybe when you are growing up.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me in this your very interesting program that I've been following for some time, and I've been waiting to see when I can make my debut. And Alhamdulillah, we're here now. So you're most welcome. Also, we're glad to have you at the Beach Soccer Secretariat here in Nigeria.
Thank you.
And also to our viewers, I want to wish everyone a happy new year and a prosperous new year ahead. I'll start by saying my names are Mahmud Hadejia, a Nigerian and also from Jigawa State. And I was born and brought up in Kaduna. Where I did my primary school in Essence International School in Ngwarimi, and also did my secondary school also in Essence. And while growing up, as you know, being a young boy growing up in Nigeria, you always find one hobby or the other. And mostly boys growing up in Nigeria tend to find themselves in the sports circle growing up, talking about playing whether in school or maybe in your local community or your own compound. That was how I grew up. But most importantly, my family have been into sports. And I know from my father, who was a big polo fan, and also my uncle and some of my brothers also played polo. But for me, basketball was a passion. Coming from a school where the owner and the founder of the school was an American. Basketball was a very popular game. And I started playing basketball and I fell in love with basketball right from primary school, whereby we go for the sports basketball club. It was a very, very interesting, I would say, event, because every basketball training is like an event in essence, and that was how we grew up. And along the line, I also, while growing up, I was really passionate about football and Nigeria in particular, watching Nigeria play, particularly during the days of the 94 and the 96 Super Eagles. I was a big fan of Kanu Nwankwo, from that 96 era.
But was it in the football, was it or only the national team? You grew up in Kaduna there. That time we used to have Rangers BC.
Yes, we used to have all those local teams. But we also had our own
Yes.
local team. If I can remember, we're called Shining Boys,
Shining Boys.
and we used to, go for a lot of competitions. Go to different areas of Kaduna to play. I remember those days we used to even walk barefoot. To walk several kilometers
Just to go and play.
to go and play. And during weekends, when we don't go to school, from morning, up until evening time, we're always on the pitch,
Okay.
playing football. And every time we have an opportunity to see group of kids, our own age, passing by, we call them, come, let's come and play a football match. And that is how, we developed that passion, and we also formed our team. And I think we were quite successful. I was one of the, I think, pioneers of that team, and I used to play in the midfield. I could remember, even though I was really skinny and all that, but
Maybe your idol, Kanu Uncle.
Yes, Kanu was a big fan, even though I like Roberto Baggio from the '94 World Cup, and also, like everyone, Maradona was a big idol. But I really idolized Roberto Baggio for so many years.
Yes.
Before now falling in love with Kanu Nwankwo, and I used to even play like him.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Let's move to beach soccer. The way you, maybe your background that you just spoke about, basketball, football, these are the top major sports that you are involved in during your young age. I don't know, where does it start, the beach soccer?
It's a very interesting story.
Okay.
I must say.
Okay.
You see, while growing up, I don't know what happened. I was, even while playing football, the 11-a-side football, it took me a very long time for me to get used to wearing boots. I was so comfortable playing barefoot. Even when everyone is playing with their football boots, I was very comfortable playing barefoot, because I kind of display more of my skills if I am playing barefoot, because I have direct contact with the ball. I can caress and pass the ball or shoot wherever, like the way I want. But whenever I'm wearing the boots, I find it difficult. So it took me a long time
to get used to it.
To get used to it. And for the beach soccer, I can remember in 2015, my mother happens to be from Kebbi State.
Okay.
And here in Abuja, we used to play in a tournament, a Ramadan Cup during the Ramadan.
Yes.
They organize all these football tournaments. So we participated in that, and after the Ramadan, towards the end of the Ramadan, we were going to Birnin Kebbi, to spend the Salah festivities. And when we got to Kebbi, we were like, what can we do for fun? Let's try and create something. And we said, okay, we're into football. Why don't we organize a football tournament and invite other teams to come? And we also decided, since it's Salah, let's try and do something different. And while playing the football, organize like a picnic, to also celebrate the Salah, And we went outside town, in a town called Zauro. We went close to the river, over there, and we found a pitch over there. We put up a very nice 5-a-side pitch, and we organized a tournament. I remember, for about 4 to 5 days. And from the first day, we saw the local people over there, the villagers, coming to watch the games. And it grew the next day, and eventually even people from inside the city of Birnin Kebbi, when they heard a tournament was going
on there,
at the outside town, the Birnin Kebbi town, they were interested to come and see what was happening. And by the time we got to the final, it was a huge crowd, you know, and people were really having fun. And it was kind of a place where people were networking.
Oh,
Because in Birnin Kebbi, unlike Zaria and Kano and other northern cities, they don't have this Salah Durbar,
yeah.
you
Yes.
know,
Okay.
in Birnin Kebbi. So it became something like
Something new.
a meeting place, you know, for everyone.
The people.
You know, so we said, look, this is something very interesting. And I will tell you that first year, we even played with boots that tournament.
In that tournament.
Yes, because it was a football, we're into football. So we said, look, we need to do this again, you know, and because we saw the interest and people were really excited. So I think that is how it started. The following year, in 2016, we organized another one, and it was really growing, and people were really interested in what we were doing. And after 2 years, we said, look, we need to take this to another level. And we approached the Football Association
In Kebbi there.
in Kebbi, you know, and we held discussions, and they also saw the potential, and they said, look, we need to really
Do this.
you know,
Get involved.
yes, and also see what we can do with this you know, competition. So while that was happening, in 2017, when we were preparing to have the third edition, we now saw the Nigeria beach soccer team was playing in the World Cup in Bahamas. But before then, we were also following what was happening in Lagos. There's a tournament called the Copa Lagos, which is an international tournament.
Yes.
And the guy organizing that tournament happened to have roots with Kebbi. And we got in touch through a friend, and we're discussing. He was like, beach soccer in Kebbi, how come? You know, so we started that, and we also, through the Football Association, now approach NFF here in Abuja, you know. And I can remember when I came to the NFF and I met the General Secretary that time, Dr. Sanusi, who is still the General Secretary now. And I told him we're coming from Kebbi, and that we're planning to organize a tournament that we want to now expand and invite other teams from Nigeria, across the states in Nigeria. And he was like, what? Beach soccer in Kebbi? How come beach soccer is being played? And we're not even aware. And I said, look, we've been doing it quietly, but now we want to invite everyone so that we can grow. Yeah. And we want to make it professional. We're not going to be using boots this time around.
But like real beach soccer.
Yes, we want to play proper beach soccer. And we want the NFF also to come on board to help with the technical aspect. You know, so I think that is how it started. And that's 2017. I can remember we had the executive governor of Kebbi State, you know, gracing that occasion twice. He came on the first day to see for himself, and he was like, I need to come back again. This is very, very interesting. Talking about the former governor, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, who is now the Minister of Budget and National Planning. And that is how it started. We had the likes of Kwara coming, Kaduna,
neighbors.
Yes, and also Sokoto State, if I can remember. And that is how Kebbi Beach Soccer started.
That's really interesting, sir. And not too long then, from 2015, that you give us an insight. 2021, you organized the maiden edition of the Beach Soccer League, Nigerian Beach Soccer League. And I know it started from all this tournament during the festive period. But one thing I want to, maybe the Nigerian Super Sand Eagles, what you saw in 2017 in the team, I think that was a team that not like they were top notch. They were all professional footballers being assembled to play as a beach soccer team. But when we have seen the growth of the league and the beach soccer in the country, that's last year we failed to qualify for the AFCON, beach soccer AFCON. I don't know what do you think is the problem?
Well, I wouldn't say is a problem. Why? Because let me start from the recent AFCON qualification that happened. The Nigerian national team did not participate for any major game or any major competition for 5 years since 2019. The AFCON match against Mauritania was the first game in 5 years. You know, so you can imagine. And our boys, kudos to them, went all the way to Mauritania, picked up a win, an away win, 5-4, if I can remember,
5-4, yes.
And they were really excited to come and, round up the qualification here. And a lot of things happened in that game that I don't want to delve into, but I think I would just want to touch on the officiating. Everyone saw it was really, really bad.
Okay.
But I think the boys, gave in their best, even with the lack of much, I would say,
Maybe international experience.
yes, not really. Some of them were experienced, but the match exposure over the years, and also the match mentality was not there. But still that spirit,
Was
they
there.
gave in their best, and everyone saw what happened in Kaduna. Like I said, I don't want to talk much about officiating, but I think the boys gave in their best, and Mauritania was much prepared, better prepared
Yes.
than the Nigerian team. But still, our boys gave them the fight, and Mauritania also proved they were better prepared and a good team when they went to the AFCON.
And
In their first appearance, they went all the way to the finals, and they will now be playing in the FIFA World Cup for the very first time
their history.
in the history of Mauritania in any competition. Talking about FIFA competitions. So I think on that aspect, I think I would not say it's a failure, but is a step that we've taken that we can do greater things going forward,
And
and we
experience
can
maybe.
also prepare better
Next time.
next time. Talking about you mentioned the league
Yes.
also. Just like I made mention earlier, when we started in Kebbi, we started inviting other teams from other states. And I remember in 2017, also the Kebbi team got invited to participate in the Copa Lagos Club Challenge that year in 2017. And the likes of Arsenal Beach Soccer came from UK, a team from Ghana, and also another Nigerian team. And Kebbi and Arsenal were paired to play first. And the executive governor of Kebbi State flew in from Kebbi all the way to Lagos. And while we were going for that competition, we noticed Arsenal was flying from Europe and they were wearing Flying Emirates. And we said, look, what can we do to motivate the Kebbi boys? And we realized Asman Air was flying Kebbi that time. So we went to Asman and we said, look, please don't give us ₦1. We just want you to fly the Kebbi boys to Lagos and bring them back, and we will have Asman Air in front of the Kebbi shirt. And in the first game, Arsenal came wearing Flying Emirates and Kebbi was wearing Asman. So I'm just making this reference to show the elevation of Kebbi and how it brought the likes of Asman Air to match Emirates Air on that platform. And it was broadcasted live. It was live on Super Sports and other national stations. Everyone saw it. And that is how everyone now became so much interested. If a team from Kebbi now can grow to go and play in this kind of competition against the likes of Arsenal, and mind you, they did very, very well in that match. They give Arsenal a big fight. And at the end of that tournament, I think they only came second on away goal rules, but they really did well. And after that, we now said, look, we need to come together, because for a very long time, even the NFF were trying to find ways, to start the beach soccer league, because the Nigerian national team has been participating in beach soccer competitions since way back in 2005.
Yes.
But we've not been able to come up with a league.
Yeah.
Every time we start to talk, we come together, we prepare, but the NFF, could not now come up with a league. And we said, look, we understand the issues and the challenges. Why don't we now all come together, the stakeholders from all parts of the country, from Lagos to Kaduna to Kwara, Kebbi, everywhere. We came together. We now approached the NFF. We said, look, we're passionate about this game. We know you have a lot on your table. What we want is, let's partner together, and we can find a way to start this league. And that is how the league came about. But before then, we also organized a tournament in Abuja here, like a pilot tournament.
Yeah.
I remember in 2020,
Yes.
just to prove to the NFF that, look, we're ready to play this game, and we can do it. And I think they gave us all the necessary support. And Alhamdulillah, now the Nigeria Beach Soccer League is going into its fifth year. And it's been quite interesting and challenging as well.
One surprising thing I keep on wondering is how consistent this league has been. I don't think there is any sport in Nigeria that has this consistency for, like, in the space of maybe like 4 years having a consistent league. Apart from football, I don't think there is any sport. How do you do it?
Well, I would say it's out of passion to start with. And we're very lucky in Nigeria to have good experienced hands in terms of running beach soccer. And before we started the league, like I said, we've been doing a lot of programs, in Kebbi, in Lagos. I remember in Kaduna. We always try every now and then. Like in Kebbi, almost every year is like 2 or 3 programs in a year. So we've grew from that, to come and form a structure as one, coming together to form the Nigeria Beach Soccer League. So I would say it was a lot easier. Why? Because in Nigeria we have the instructors of beach soccer. We have the FIFA referees who are well experienced, talking about the recently retired Jalili Ogumuyiwa, who have seen it all in terms of refereeing. So we have ex-players, who have played the game, talking about Abdullah Isa, who is now the head coach of the national team, the likes of Isiaka Olawale, Victor Tali, a lot of them who are experienced. So we had everything, and that is why we said, look, there's nothing stopping us from starting this league. And when we got the go-ahead, the approval from the Nigerian Football Federation, I think within few weeks, we were ready to start the league. And we said, look, when the beach soccer came to Nigeria, the national team started in Lagos. So let's go to Lagos and kick off the league. And it was really amazing, I must say.
It's very interesting story. The next destination I want us to go is the African face, or the continent. This is your story, and thank God you are now you have been, I think from 2020, you are the president of the African Beach Soccer Union. Maybe if president can tell us how he gets into that seat.
Well, I think it was, I would say it was quite easy.
Okay.
Why? Because while we were doing all these programs, most of the African stakeholders that were involved in the beach soccer, were taking notice about what we're doing. Talking about where we started from in Kebi, you know, when I gave you the story. We started locally, we
Locally.
went nationally, and in 2019, Kebi went to represent Africa in Alanya, Turkey, for the Beach Soccer World Cup for clubs.
Okay.
And it was the first African country to ever do that. And the whole of Africa really appreciated that because it was one of a kind. Mostly it was European clubs that participate and other clubs from other regions. But to have an African club, it was really an eye opener and also a motivating factor for the whole of Africa to say, look, we can also, do something with this beach soccer. And when we now formed the association, the union of
Okay.
beach soccer, and we all came together. Everyone was saying, in terms of leadership, we need to give it to
You.
Nigeria
Okay.
and also to Mahmoud, because we've seen what you've done.
Yes.
And Nigeria, even previously, have been at the forefront of this beach soccer development over the years. Because, like I said, our instructors, talking about the likes of Sunday Okai,
Hey.
they go to other African countries to even teach beach soccer. So there was a lot of respect for Nigeria. And like I said, when it was time, to nominate and also elect the pioneer leadership, they now give us this responsibility, and we've gladly taken it, and it has been so far an interesting journey also.
I know the journey now is, but how will you compare it to maybe when you think back way 2017
Yeah.
and today? How will you maybe think of it?
Well, for me, whatever I do, I put God first, and also I try to draw experienced hands who know the game very well, not just in Nigeria but all over, to tap into their knowledge and also form a solid team, to drive, because it's not only about the leader. Sometimes, you need a solid team that can drive this. And from Kebi, I've also always had this idea that, look, if you really want to go far, then you need to join hands with several stakeholders that have good experience and that can, most importantly, add value to whatever you're doing in terms of this beach soccer project. And I think that is the reason why you see this progression. I have to say, I must commend the Nigerian Football Federation, for giving us this opportunity, to drive this process. Because with the beach soccer, my experience, I have to be honest with you, is mostly because of the passion that we have for football. Most of the federations, not just NFF, across the world, and mostly in Africa, their attention is football, and is understandable. We clearly understand football comes first, and football is the big brother.
Yes.
But we tend to neglect what
Other-
the beach soccer and the likes of futsal can
futsal.
do. I just gave a scenario, and also the journey of Mauritania. Mauritania only started beach soccer just like 2 years ago, but they're going to play in the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup. No disrespect to the Mauritanian football team, but it is a huge task if Mauritania wants to go and play in the FIFA World Cup for the 11-a-side game, because there's a lot of competition.
Very,
If you have the likes of Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, everyone wants to be at the World Cup.
Yes.
And there's fierce competition there. But because of the little investment and the attention they've paid to the beach soccer, they're now going to play in the FIFA World Cup.
At least.
And this is a big achievement, for Mauritania. So I noticed that there's that I would say limited attention. The likes of Senegal, the reason why they're doing very, very well is because the federation invests and pays close
So much
attention,
in the game.
in the game of beach soccer. And I remember during my visit to Senegal in the 2021 AFCON held in Senegal, the president, the Football Association president, President Senghor, was telling me that he believes that they can even, it is easier for Senegal to win the FIFA
Beach
Soccer World Cup than the
football.
regular football. Even with the stars they have, the likes of Mane, Koulibaly, all those big stars they have.
Ghana guys,
But he believes it is easier for them to win the Beach Soccer World Cup.
Soccer.
So for countries, particularly here in Africa, with little investment, you can make huge exploits with beach soccer and the likes of futsal, you know, and make a name globally, you know. I'm not saying we should stop football because we all love football.
Yes.
But at least put in more investment and more interest, and you will see the result. We all see what Senegal has been able to do, and Mauritania recently.
Okay, and like in the qualification of the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup, I found out that 2 teams qualified. That's the winner and the runner-up.
Yeah. I think is a criteria for the qualification.
Okay.
And in Africa, we have only 2 teams as the slots to represent Africa in the World Cup. We hope it, with the progress Africa is making
maybe
now,
the performance.
Yes, because Senegal went to the semi-finals of the World Cup in I think 2021 or 2022 World Cup that held in Russia.
Yes.
And they did very well. And
like last year they were 4th, I think.
No, I think they either the group stages or the quarterfinals.
Okay.
You know, but the previous one in Russia, I know they did very well. And African teams are doing much better now, and there's a huge interest and followership for the beach soccer. Talking about the likes of the team Mozambique, also were at the previous World Cup before now, and it was their first time. They did very well. So we're having really strong teams now coming out of Africa, and I think the slot should, just like the football, I think needs to improve. I think FIFA needs to consider that. So that we can have more teams from Africa, because just imagine playing a FIFA World Cup and you don't have the likes of Egypt, Nigeria, Senegal. You know, I think we can do much better, and also the chances of winning can also increase.
Yes.
Rather than having only 2 teams.
Yes. Maybe so the leadership of African Beach Soccer Union, is it thinking? Are you guys thinking of maybe having a football, maybe club tournament continentally?
Sure.
Because I have seen now almost all the African countries are having their own league.
Sure.
How soon will that be?
Okay, so what we set out to do at the African Beach Soccer Union when it was formed, you know, we noticed in Africa there were only few leagues, national leagues, taking place. I can remember, I think Senegal, Uganda were very consistent. At a point in time, South Africa, but they now stopped. And I think Ghana also, they were not consistent, but they were organizing tournaments. And we said, look, first thing first, we need to go back home and develop the game from our various countries and our various regions. Let's encourage the leagues, because that is where it all starts from. We cannot just go and start playing the African Championship without growing our leagues. And that is part of the reason why we now also pushed for the Nigeria Beach Soccer League, which, by the way, is one of the fastest growing beach soccer leagues. Proudly so.
Yes.
But I think we're now having these leagues and also a general interest in Africa. You now see a lot of countries that have not played beach soccer before, the likes of Liberia, you know, the likes of Togo, Benin. now playing this beach soccer because they've seen what the likes of Nigeria is doing, and they don't want to be left behind. So we're at a point now where we're discussing to see how, even from the regional level, let's say from West Africa now, we can organize tournaments between Nigeria, Ghana, Niger, Togo, to organize those tournaments. And then eventually we get to the African Championship. We're also discussing with CAF because CAF also has the structure and also the support base, to come on board and see how we can have this African Championship where we're really engaging and pushing CAF to see, because that is why Europe, for instance, they're really far ahead. Wherever you see the FIFA World Cup, when it gets to the quarterfinals, semi-final stage, you find 2, 3, sometimes 4 European nations at the semi-finals. Why? Because every year they have the leagues, they have the European, what do they call it? The European championships for beach soccer, European Beach Soccer League and all that. And they're very consistent over the years. They've been playing since the 90s. And that is why the game is developing in Europe, even ahead of the likes of Brazil now.
Okay.
Brazil, I think not until recently, they were even struggling to catch up with European teams. So I think for Africa, I would say we're on the right track, but we need to do much, much more in terms of this collaboration and also the support, just like what the football is getting now, because we feel CAF is paying much, much more attention, just like
football.
On football, where we can now invest in the beach soccer and futsal, and we can, in the very nearest future now, get the World Cup. By the way, the World Cup is happening in Africa for the very first time in Seychelles in May this year, from the 1st of May. And we hope the World Cup will remain in Africa, inshallah.
We hope that. But finally, I don't know maybe if Mr. President have anything that you close with.
Well, I think I'm just calling on our fans to keep supporting beach soccer. I understand beach soccer is still new to a lot of our followers, but I always say beach soccer has been part of us since when we were growing up. Like I gave an example, when I was growing up, I was playing barefoot. Almost every footballer you see at a point in time has played barefoot when he was small, until when he now grew and started wearing football boots. And the Nigerian national team, when they played their first match in Europe,
it was barefoot.
So beach soccer has been part of us. We just need to pay close attention and do the things that can make the game grow. And I think it's a wonderful sport that we can really achieve a whole lot, particularly here in Nigeria, because the interest and the appeal now for beach soccer in Nigeria is crazy. Almost every day we get messages that we want to start this beach soccer. How do we start?
Okay, sir. Finally, maybe before I go, let me just be a bit sentimental. When are you going to Kano for beach soccer?
We've been waiting for Kano for a very long time.
I think their door is open.
I think Kano, for the past years, we've been discussing to see how we can bring the beach soccer. But I'm sorry to say, Kano went to sleep, and Jigawa, quickly overtook Kano, and now Jigawa even participated in the National League just last year. And I hope Kano and other states see the potential. The chairman of the Football Association, a very good friend, Ahlan, anytime he sees me, he said, Mahmoud, when are we starting this beach? I said, well, chairman, we're waiting for you. Anytime you call us, we're always willing to come, because even while going to Jigawa, we went past Kano, and you people were sleeping, so you need to wake up.
So I think you just have to enter. You don't have to.
But you cannot enter without invitation.
No, the door is open, I think.
Okay, when you invite me, Abdul, I will come and alongside our team. But I think we're always willing, to come to Kano. we believe Kano is a huge hub, for sports in general. And I think if the beach soccer is really established properly in Kano, it's going to make a lot of waves because there's huge potential and talent in
Yes,
Kano, definitely. And also not to forget the huge followership we see for Kano Pillars and all that. We want that for the beach soccer also.
It will be. It will be. Thank you very much, sir, for hosting us, because we are having this interview at the Secretariat of the African Beach Soccer Union, and we really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much for coming around, and it's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. See you some other time, sir.
Thank you very much.